We begin with long, slow, deep, silent breaths, deep and slow, quiet and even. And the reason we do this is that starts to tip our scale towards the parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system. The parasympathetic branch is what's known as rest and digest. And in true yin-yang fashion, it is what calibrates the fight or flight branch. So you know when you're irritated, agitated, and aggravated, you're more in the sympathetic branch, the fight or flight branch. The way we counteract that is with deep, slow, quiet, even breaths. That tips the scale towards the parasympathetic branch. So make your breathing slower, quieter, deeper, and more even. And as we always say as we begin, the key to taking a deep breath isn't how much we draw in, it's actually how much we puff out. So again, in true yin-yang fashion, we yin-hail as we inhale in through our nose, and then we yang-hail as we blow out from our mouths. So at the bottom of every breath, extend your exhale a little more. You've got floating ribs down here in lower lobes of your lungs. At the bottom of every breath, squeeze just a little bit, those ribs, those lungs. Notice how much deeper the inhale is afterwards. So continue that breathing. As you do, begin to focus your mind on the fleeting moment where your out-breath changes to your in-breath. Your in-breath changes back to your out-breath. We call that sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath, and it's like you're sharpening the blade of your mind, making it honing and improving its focus. And it's not that you've got to find that fleeting moment. It's more important that you seek it. So look for those poles at the top and the bottom of the breath. Do a few more like so. If your eyes are closed, that's beautiful. And then when you feel ready to do so, invite your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. Beautifully done. Let's begin our warm-ups. We'll start with our yoga neck roll, which calibrates our inner ear with our diaphragm, our phrenic nerve with our vagus nerve, our mind with our body. So we take a deep breath in as if our head is a balloon on a string. As we exhale, we let the air out of the balloon through pursed lips. And once we're at the bottom, we inhale one ear past one shoulder. We exhale, we sweep across our chest. Inhale the other ear past the other shoulder. We rock from side to side. Inhaling ear past shoulder. Exhaling chin past chest. This warms up our movement and our breath. Beautifully done. The yoga neck roll. A great place to start at the top of the kinetic chain. Beautifully done. And on your next exhale, when you feel comfortable doing so, pause at the bottom of the breath. Inhale your head back upright, and let's work into our shoulder girdles. We'll loop our shoulder girdles forward and upward as we inhale. We'll bring them around back and squeeze them downward as we exhale, completing the loop. You're waking up an area between your shoulder blades, known as the Daje point. Do you ever feel tension in this part of the body, which many of us do from time to time? This is the way to relieve that tension. Inhale, loop upward. Exhale, squeeze downward. Looping the Daje rolls. Beautifully done. And again, I want to say a special thanks to Lucia for joining us from Brazil. It's great to be part of an international movement. So loop forward, upward, exhale, downward. And on your next one, relax your shoulders. Turn your eyes towards one hand and begin to scoop and toss that hand behind you from side to side. So your eyes follow your hand, and your hand follows your breath, and your breath follows your mind. Beautifully done. Inhale as you scoop up. Exhale as you toss behind you. Calibrate your breath with your movement. We call this windmills. This is a form of silk reeling. Any repetitive movement in Tai Chi, Qigong, or Shaolin Kung Fu is something that's categorized as silk reeling. You're just practicing a movement over and over, honing it to perfection. And after you've done a few more of these, you can relax the shoulders. Just begin rolling each shoulder backward now, independent of the other, and let your trunk turn. Let your weight shift. Beautifully done. Working our way from the top of the kinetic chain through the middle of the kinetic chain. We're going to work our way down into the lower respiratory sinus. We begin to simply turn our trunk from side to side. Let the arms flail. This is sometimes called Ragdoll, sometimes called the constant bear. That's one of my teachers. That's what he called it. And then from the Ragdoll or the constant bear, let's go into the pellet drum. All you got to do is use this momentum that you've already built up and begin slapping or tapping the opposite shoulder up at the top and the low back at the same time. Now, as you're slapping and tapping, you begin to work your way from the top of the shoulder down to the top of the chest, where you're safe to slap or tap up around your collarbone. Go ahead and give yourself a few slaps or taps to wake up, and then bring that momentum down to the lower rib cage, those floating ribs we were just talking about a little earlier, the ones we use to squeeze out a little more breath when we're sharpening our mind on the stone of the breath. Then after this lower rib cage, we work our way down to the hip. We've got that whole lower respiratory sinus warmed up. We're ready for the bottom half of the body. What we do is we allow our hands to drift to our hips. We begin big hula hoop loops with the hip. We call this stirring the bowl, like holding the bell of a wine glass and swirling the last sip of wine around in the bottom. Whichever direction you chose is fine, because we're simply going to pause and loop in the opposite direction. Always unwinding up what we wound, always balancing yin and yang, and always balancing east and west. Beautifully done. Now, after a few more of these, allow your center of gravity to settle back into your base of support, right between your feet. Step each foot out a little wider in what's known as a horse stance. You can almost do this kind of horse thing here. You want your knees out as far as is comfortable, as square as you can make it. And then we'll do what's called the Great Bear Swings, Shaolin warm-up. We take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we turn our shoulders and we drop down. As we inhale, we turn shoulders, rise to pause, and then exhale, drop down. Inhale, rise to pause, and you're welcome to rest your hands anywhere on your thighs between your hips and knees. Just inhale yourself up and exhale yourself down for the Great Bear Swings from side to side. Beautifully done. And after you've done some from side to side, invite yourself to pause at the bottom. Inhale your trunk back upright, and before we leave, let's shift weight on a figure eight. So you kind of get this hip swirl going from one side to the other, which is proper form in Tai Chi and Qigong. You'll notice my shoulders are over my hips while I do this. And that's how we keep our three Dantiens stacked on one another. So it's just a good practice to do anytime, and it's a nice warm-up as well. And after you've done one or two more of these, settle back in the middle, bring your feet back into a comfortable stance, shift your weight over one foot, raise the opposite heel, and loop the knee inward. After a few inward loops, loop outward. You'll notice we started up around the neck, and we're working our way all the way into the foot. Now shift weight, do the opposite leg, loop inward. And after a few inward loops, a few outward loops. And this is a condensed version of our warm-ups. When we do the live class, you can settle in the middle now. Those are hour-long classes, and we do 10 to 15 minutes of warm-ups. But for these shorter online classes, that's plenty. Let's begin with our Qigong breathing. Begin to inhale your palms up towards your heart center and exhale your palms back down towards your body center. These are 2 of 3 energy centers in the ancient Asian literature traditions, known as the middle Dantien and the lower Dantien. We're breathing between them, and our palms are leading the way. Now, to complete this circuit and get all 3 Dantien involved, we want the upper Dantien to do its work as well. The best way to do so is with eyes closed. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, you might invite them to close so you can use the full power of your visualization and your imagination. And you follow your breath upward and follow it downward. As you do so, you use the mind's eye, the third eye center, the home of the upper Dantien, also known as the cauldron of the mind. As you do so, you use this powerful Qigong visualization known as cleansing the inner body. With each inhale, as your palms rise, a glowing mist rises from the core of the earth, through the soles of your feet, through your inner body, to collect in your upper Dantien. And as you exhale down and your palms melt downward, that glowing mist forms a glowing cloud. That glowing cloud forms a glowing rain. That glowing rain washes down your inner body through the soles of your feet and back into the earth. So you're using the power of your own personal visualization, imagination, and concentration to inhale a glowing mist up, to exhale a glowing rain down, cleansing your inner body and preparing it for all that follows. So on your next inhale, invite your hands to pause at heart height in a hugging stance we know as stand like tree. This is our meditative pose, where we stand and take inventory of our alignment. So with long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and heavy tail melt downward. And between them, our spine gently stretches. This is what's known as the string of pearls in ancient Asian literature. Our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one, and our feet are parallel in a firm, rooted stance like a mighty oak. Our 3 energy centers that we were just breathing between are balanced perfectly on one another, as if we gathered 3 smooth river rocks and placed them gently on life's river's edge. And through soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of our warm-ups from head to toe. We feel the yoga neck roll and the Daje rolls, the constant bear and the pellet drum, stirring the bowl in the great bear swings. We see it, we feel it course through us. If eyes are closed, we enjoy it. The hands begin a slow journey downward until the thumbs cross over our belly button. The folded fingers are warming now in an area known as the lower Dantien, the seat of Qi energy, the cauldron of the body. And through closed eyes and pursed lips, we use the power of our visualization. And we imagine blowing on the embers of the cauldron of the body. And as we do, we delight in the growing, glowing light as the embers respond. With each deep ensuing inhale, we draw the light upward and outward. And we begin to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the heart, the middle Dantien, the seat of wisdom and compassion. And as we blow on the embers of the middle Dantien and the lower Dantien, fills our inner galaxy with light and spills beyond our inner galaxy, bathes the space around us with light, warm, silken Qi energy. May your body be strong and may your heart calm. If eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment longer as your hands melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently Slowly flutter open as a butterfly might leave a flower. We're ready now. We step into the center of our little boat, and the hand on this side of your room or screen makes a gentle fist that floats before the heart. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in. We slowly exhale and bow to one another in a gesture of mutual respect. And as we inhale ourselves up in gratitude for the tradition, as we exhale our hands slowly down, we prepare to inhale up overhead an inch apart. Very slowly and deliberately exhale down our center line. This is known as centering the Qi, where we begin and end. We do one more, and this time in Shaolin manner, we bring our palms together. We exhale only as far as the heart center as the Shaolin do. We do this in deference and gratitude for all we learn from them. We inhale, elbows rise and wrists straighten. We exhale and our palms melt down. Now we're ready to step out into our little boat, unlock our knees, and inhale our palms up an inch apart. Then exhale down. This is known as sinking the Qi, and you do it at the rhythm of your own breath, lifting with each inhale, melting with each exhale. As you do so, pay attention to those 3 smooth river rocks that you gathered and stacked on life's river's edge. As you rise and fall, maintain them upright, sinking the Qi. Beautifully done. This is always where we begin and end. Practice. Returning again and again. When your hands drop again, at the very bottom, leave them extended in front of you, palm down, then inhale them at arm's length up towards the heart center and exhale back down. Palms facing as you rise and fall. Beautifully done. This is opening the door. You'll see this in formal Tai Chi and Qigong routines. It's usually the first movement in the Yang 24 or the Yang 40. We're rising and falling with it with each breath. When your hands rise again soon, I'm going to ask you to cross wrists with palms up and start to make 2 small circles in front of you. This move you're about to do is called closing the door. So when you feel comfortable on the next inhale, when your hands rise, cross wrists, palms up, and begin tracing 2 circles, maybe about basketball size, maybe a little larger, and follow the rhythm of your own breath, inhaling and rising, exhaling and falling. Now, this movement is known as closing the door. You'll often see it at the end of formal Tai Chi and Qigong routines. Here we're using it for prep, and some of the movements we're going to do here in a little bit. So as we inhale up, we exhale out and down. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to shift weight over one foot, this foot to the east, let's say. And when we shift weight over that foot, we're going to gently kick the foot to the left. You can do it slowly. You don't have to do it with any dramatic fashion unless you feel like it. And when you kick with that heel, it's called the high kick with heel. And when you see the experts do it, they kick like shoulder or above. I'm not asking that of us. You can make it a low kick. You can even tap your heel out and bring it back and then switch. And that's what we'll do. After each one, we'll switch to the other side. So in a moment, prepare yourself. When we shift to one side, simply high kick with heel, like so. So you kick and then you switch. You trace these 2 circles, and you kick between them. So inhale up and exhale and kick. Do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. In Strong Qigong, we're practicing. It's all we're doing. Everything is a form of silk reeling. There's no judgment here. Simply inhale, crossing wrists up, exhale, pushing out and kicking, tracing those circles. The high kick with heel, a perfect balance activity, shifting weight, Beautifully done. Now on this next one, when you feel comfortable doing so, simply return to closing the door on both feet. Beautifully done. Well done. The high kick with heel. Follow the breath upward. Follow it downward. Slow it down if you want to. Remember, you're moving in concert with your breath, which gives you a visual representation of your breath. And it's either eyes follow hands or hands follow eyes, and breath follows between. So that's the beauty of this. You see your breath in your own movement. Well done. Now, we'll continue this crossing wrists and inhaling up, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to drop as low as you can comfortably, and then make as big as circles up and all the way down. And this movement we're about to go into in Tai Chi is known as the fountain, sometimes known as bathing in the fountain. So in a moment, when your hands drop again, invite yourself to drop as low as you can go. Inhale up, exhale out and down, and continue. As high as you can rise, as low as you can go, following your breath upward as you inhale. Downward exhale. Beautifully done. The fountain. Big movements compared to closing the door. Big stretching. Inhaling and rising, exhaling and falling. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to not drop as low. And when you do, I'm going to ask you to just let your fingertips meet in your lap. So on this next one, do so. Let them just meet in your lap. Then inhale them up the body, push out and down, and do it again. Inhale up the body, exhale out and down. Now let's continue a few more of these. You recognize this as the Bada Jin, the first movement of the 8 brocades. This is known as holding up heavens like a pillar. The same breathing you've been doing all along, all the way back to closing the door, inhaling upward, exhaling downward, and continuing. Beautifully done. Holding up heavens like a pillar. Now, in a moment, when the hands rise again, I'm going to ask you to separate them once they get to your heart center. And the hand on one side will push up while the other hand pushes down. When you do so, your eyes follow the upward hand. So prepare yourself and push up, then inhale and switch hands from side to side. This is the second of the Bada Jin. This is penetrating heaven and earth. Beautifully done. Inhale to center and exhale to side. Well done. Penetrating heaven and earth. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to bring the hands back into a movement we know as embracing the moon. So when we do so, simply bring the hands to about shoulder height and lap height. On your next inhale, simply pause in the middle and embrace the moon. This is the stance, and we melt down into this stance. This is embracing the moon. But I want to show you a variation of penetrating heaven and earth. We take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we push in opposite directions, then swirl around and inhale back to center. Then exhale, push in opposite directions, swirl around, and inhale to center. And let's do a few more of these, just like that. This is a variation of penetrating heaven and earth. And it's one you'll see in different forms. Now, if you're holding this gentle squat like I'm doing, on this next one, I want you to simply pause in the embracing the moon posture. Well done. We'll take advantage of this. We'll take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we'll exhale this elbow past this knee. We'll inhale this lower hand up, and we'll exhale its elbow past this knee. And just like that, we'll exhale across. We'll inhale up. And just before we land this plane, we'll practice some waving hands like clouds. So allow your hand to cross your field of vision. As it does, stare deeply into the palm of the outstretched hand. Beautifully done. And let your body turn and let your weight shift. Waving hands like clouds is more a body movement than an arm movement. Now, remember that shifting weight on a figure eight? See if you can move a little bit more from your hips. And now you're practicing perfect silk reeling. Loop the hips, moving from the lower Dantien. Beautifully done. Waving hands like clouds. And in a moment, I'd like you to return to center, embracing the moon. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let your hands melt down. Inhale up and over and sink your chi. Continue, rise with the breath. Fall with the breath. Beautifully done. Floating and melting in concert with the breath, in harmony with the room around you. When your hands drop again, return to opening the door. Inhale, palms up towards heart height. Exhale back down for a few more breaths. And prepare yourself on your next inhale to spread your hands wide and stand light tree. With long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and our heavy tail melt downward. Between them, our spine gently stretches in the string of pearls as our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm, rooted stance like a mighty oak. As our three energy centers, our Dantien, balance perfectly on one another, like three smooth river rocks we gathered and stacked on life's river's edge. With soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of the chi we stirred. We see the dance in the mind's eye, the opening and closing of the door, the high kick with heel, the fountain and bathing in the fountain, heaven's pillar and penetrating heaven and earth, finishing up with waving hands like clouds. See the dance in your mind's eye. Use the power of your own visualization, imagination, and concentration. And as you feel it course through you and see the dance, begin the slow journey downward with both hands until thumbs once again cross over the belly button and the folded fingers resume warming on the cauldron of the body as you resume blowing on the embers of the cauldron of the heart and the cauldron of the body. You delight in the growing, glowing light as the embers respond with each extended exhale through pursed lips and closed eyes as if blowing through a straw. And as you do so, you draw the light upward and you begin to glow and blow on the embers of the cauldron of the mind, the third Dantien that gave you this beautiful inward show. And out of appreciation, you blow on the embers of all three cauldrons, filling the inner galaxy with the brightest light yet. Spills beyond your inner galaxy, it bathes the space around you. Spills beyond the space around you, it bathes the world around you. Spills beyond the world around you, and it bathes life itself around you. With light, warm, silken chi energy. May your body stay strong. May your heart stay calm. May your mind stay sharp. And may your spirit stay free. Yidao Chidao means where intention goes, energy flows. Choose where you send your energy. And if eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment longer as your hands melt to your side, only inviting eyes to gently, slowly flutter open as a butterfly might leave a flower. Welcome back. We step into the center of our little boat. Very slowly and deliberately inhale our palms up as if an inch apart. We slowly exhale down, centering our chi as promised at the beginning. And the hand on this side of the room or screen makes the gentle fist. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in and straighten. We slowly exhale and bow. You give yourself a much-earned, deserved round of applause for being the light you make in the world today.